Islamic Relief USA is a non-profit organization that provides relief and development in a dignified manner regardless of gender, race, or religion, and works to empower individuals in their communities and give them a voice in the world.
You done now? Can we start the podcast?
Okay.
Alhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala.
It's a What a Relief podcast.
My name is Carl, and here with me...
or Mordant Mahon. One of those two is correct.
Yup.
That was just, it was so real.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome once again to the What a Relief podcast. Because every week this podcast comes out, it is a huge relief. Because we got another episode done. Sometimes it's a Herculean effort, but we get it done. And we get it done so that you can continue to listen, share, and repeat. You like that, Mordant? Just tied that all together. That was beautiful, huh? All right. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, the hardest working man, the most beautiful man, the most entertaining man in the podcast business.
Hi, this is Mordant, and I pay Carl well to be able to say those things, and I appreciate it. I've heard, even though I'm not there, a full house.
We do, and it's actually kind of an awkward, like physically awkward thing for me, because usually when we have two guests or more, we're like in a different room doing this. So I've kind of got one sitting off to my left, my right here just a little bit, but of course the left chair is right in front of me, so that's cool. So if I'm not looking at you directly or I sound really weird, don't personalize that. Okay. It's just kind of an awkward position I have to contort myself into. But Mordant, yes, we are being joined today by one of my favorite programs, the TechGirls. Now, the TechGirls is a international exchange program where they bring girls from specifically the Middle East or just all over?
No, the
and North Africa.
North Africa. Yeah.
He does.
Because I'm reading this off their Facebook page.
Yeah. Mordant does way more homework than I do. I just show up and I'm pretty, and that's about the end of it. So, but yes, so they bring you guys here from overseas, specifically the Middle East and North Africa, and it's one of the STEM programs. And as a parent with 3 daughters ranging from 17 to 9. STEM programs are very important to me and very close to my heart, because if it weren't for, well, not so much the science because, just because, but if it weren't for the math aspect of STEM, I wouldn't be able to do what I do.
Right, because first of all, what is a STEM program for the rest of us that are not knowing what that is?
The STEM is like science and technology and
science, technology, engineering, and math. Yes. And a STEM program teaches young girls the science, technology, engineering, and math.
Yeah.
Nice. Very nice.
So let's stop talking about ourselves because, that's what we do best. And let's let them introduce themselves. So give us your names, tell us where you're from, and tell us, what are you guys enjoying most about your day at IR thus far?
Okay. Hi, my name is Layan and Okkeh. I am from Jordan. To be honest, my whole job shadowing day was absolutely amazing. I've met people who speaks in Arabic, so that was nice. We've had like a crazy car drive with Arabic music, so it was also nice. And we've met some amazing, inspiring people.
And where are you from? Did you say? Did I miss it?
I'm from Jordan.
Jordan, yes.
My name is Vera Murad. I'm from Palestine. I'm 17 years old. This day was just amazing. It was very informative. We had so much fun, and it was very inspirational. So thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you guys for being here. It's awesome. And how's this for a white guy? أنتِ تفخمي عربي شوية.
What?
Oh, look at that. Huh? Yeah. You got tricks up my sleeve, don't I? So
what did you say?
I have no idea.
I said I speak a little bit of Arabic. أنتِ تفهمي عربي شوية.
No, أنتِ تفهمين
أنتِ تفهمين عربي.
You're talking about me right
Yes.
now. Yeah.
Son, you just got schooled.
I did. By how old are you?
16.
I just got schooled by a 16-year-old. I'm going to go home and cry in shame now. Thank you.
No, you're not. It's just like being at your house, man. You got 3 daughters.
Oh, that was mean.
So is this the first time that you've done a podcast, ladies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. What do you think so far?
It's fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's,
All right. Well, you said you've had great experiences today. What exactly, other than the wild car ride? Other than that, what has been happening with you today?
the people that we talk to, you know, we talked to different people who are working in different fields, and they inspired us. They told us about their dreams, they told us about their goals, and it was just amazing.
Yeah, the thing that I found amazing is that so many people work in different careers in this company, and they do this amazing job in helping people and refugees in over 30 countries, and yeah, it's very amazing.
And like something surprisingly, like I didn't know that Islamic Relief helped in so many projects, and I had no idea about that. We usually know the big names, big organizations that help refugees, but Islamic Relief helped those organizations in helping the refugees. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. How is it that TechGirls reaches out to you? How do they choose you and then bring you to? Is it just this country? Is it to other countries, or how does this work?
I learned about TechGirls from my school. I've known some of previous TechGirls are my friends. So you basically apply for it and you write an application, and that's how they choose us.
Yeah. I'm the same as Vera. I've heard it from one of my friends who came to TechGirls like the previous year. And then after you write and fill out this big application and talk about the things that you have done throughout your life, they take you into an interview throughout the American Embassy, and they choose 4 from each country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. And what is it that you want to do with now? Kind of a 2-part question. What do you want to do with your life now? What do you want to do with your life?
You're 16. Figure out the rest of your life right now.
That's like every American is asking their own children this. What are you going to do with your life? Come on, you got to figure it out right now. But what is it when you want to do with it now that you've been involved with TechGirls? And how is that different than what you were expecting out of your lives before?
TechGirls and visiting different companies like Islamic Relief, Facebook, different companies gave us some sort of thought of what we want to do. I personally think of international law and something related to technology at the same time. I think my I want to specialize as a lawyer into law, but at the same time I want to take courses related to computer because that's my hobby. It's something I love.
When this interview is over, remind me to share my master's program with you, because they are actually opening up an undergrad, bachelor's degree here in my program. And that is exactly what we do.
Okay.
I learned a lot from this program, and I hope to give back to my country what I learned. And I hope to be a changemaker.
So I believe you were actually saying earlier that you want to go to university and be an engineer.
Yeah. So I graduated high school this year, and I'm still not sure of what I'm going to study. I'm interested in a lot of things, so I am thinking of majoring in engineering.
That's great. You have a long time to be able to figure that out. That's wonderful that you're taking your time with it. But the other half of my question was, before you got involved with TechGirls, what were you hoping to do? Were your dreams different? did you think that you weren't, there were not much things you could do, or what was it before TechGirls?
I think you stumped them.
It's like, since I was like a kid, I wanted to do something to my community. I wanted to do something to change the world. And I think TechGirls helped in giving me hope that they could actually help me with my follow-on project when I come back to Jordan. And there's a backbone that would also be supportive to whatever I want to do to my community and to the whole world in general.
So what is the project that you're going to be continuing when you get home?
So I was thinking of an idea of an application. In Jordan, there are a lot of refugee camps. And these refugee camps, one of the refugee camps, a girl I know works there. And she told me that they get so many things, like food, for example, that they don't need it. So I was thinking about doing an app that lists all these refugee camps and some information about them. And then when the user opens this, for example, a camp called the Za'atari camp in Jordan, the user would open this camp and be like, they want this kind of food, or they want this clothes for this age group. And the user would be like, oh, I have that, so I can donate it. And so they would press, for example, for that button, and we'll get some contact numbers, how they could contact these camps. And that's something I want to make for Jordan. But as a dream, I want to expand this project to all Middle East, like Syria, Iraq, to achieve all refugee camps.
Does that have to do with apps for change?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Okay. Yeah, that's in the top part of their Facebook right now, and there's actually a video on it and things like that. So that sounds really, really cool.
You're making me
need it. It's not just something, hey, let's work on this because it'll be a cute little project. It's no, this is a real thing that adults should be doing. But look, right now it's TechGirls.
You're making me look bad with all the homework you're doing.
I'm not doing homework. I've got a Facebook page opened up. I'm cheating is what I'm doing.
And you?
Well, I'm planning on organizing an event, inviting guest speakers, women leaders, successful women leaders, to inspire young girls to follow their dreams. And the main idea of this of my project is women empowerment and encouraging girls to follow their dreams.
Yeah. I just want to add another thing. There is also a project that I have in my mind, was to teach elderly how to use smartphones, not just for Facebook or things like that, as in for apps that they would actually benefit from. There's apps like the 911 app, or the apps that would organize when to take your medicines and things like that. And this could benefit them, so much.
That's a great idea.
So I'm going to go ahead and do this here. And when the write-up gets done, hopefully we can put a link into the description on this. But everything you have talked about fits in beautifully with the Georgetown CCT program, which is where I'm graduating from. So we need to connect with that once we're done here.
Sure.
So shout out to Georgetown.
So right now I'm interjecting right here, so you can edit all this stuff out. Do you have any more questions for these ladies, or do you want to do our flip?
I was actually just about to start the segue.
Okay, then I'll shut up.
So, Mordant, in a complete twist of events, normally it is you and I sitting here badgering people with questions about what they do and where they're from and how they enjoy their life and how we can help make their lives better or help make our listeners' lives better. We are about to have a complete flip of the script here. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready, although what is happening?
The TechGirls actually have questions written down, so they do far more preparation than either one of us. So this may be the professional part of the podcast, I don't know. And they're going to interview us. but I have one request. Mm-hmm. You guys have to introduce the podcast, okay?
Okay.
So you start and you say, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the Water Relief Podcast. You introduce yourself, and then you introduce your guests.
Okay.
Hold on one second. And his name is Mordant. Mordant, okay?
Okay.
So, you guys ready?
Yeah.
All right. This is kind of scary. We're turning over the reins. I don't know what I think about this.
I think it's going to be fun. Let's do this.
Let's do it.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is What a Relief podcast, and my name is Layan Okkeh. I'm from Jordan.
And I'm Vera Murad from Palestine.
And we're going to interview two special guests. The first one's called Mordant.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you. I'm so happy that I can be on this rendition of your show. Thank you for inviting me.
And my name's Carl, because they got very confused. That was awesome.
So what's the question?
Okay. Vera, do you want to start?
I have the first question. What type of education and training prepared you for this career field?
Dude, her questions are typed up and printed out.
I don't understand. What is this education and training of which she speaks?
I think she's saying we're supposed to get educated and trained to do this professionally.
That's all right. I have an answer if you have an answer.
Go for it.
All right. Actually, I've started doing, I do comedy shows at Renaissance festivals around the country. And so I'm up on stage and I do 5 different shows. And there's a lot of improv involved in that. So I'm very comfortable speaking in front of people. I also have done a lot of video blogs. So I'm very good at speaking off the cuff. I've trained with Toastmasters as well. And as I've had some theater training, though not very much. So a lot of it is self-taught. A lot of it is experiential. It's, my experiences that I've had. And I've done podcasting since 2011. So it wasn't very pretty when I first started, but I learned a lot from those lessons. And I was able to bring the lessons that I learned from stage to this. So when anything goes wrong, it's more about not freaking out and just being able to see it as an opportunity to have more of a conversation. So a lot of that's self-taught on my end.
So as far as podcasting goes, I too am fairly self-taught. I've been playing with podcasting since about 2008 with different types of podcasts and different venues and different conversations. As far as technical training goes, I guess I as I said earlier, I'm soon to be a graduate of the Georgetown CCT program, which community, culture, and technology. I also have my undergrads in computer systems management, which is where I'm here because podcasting is a lot of computering, and I'm pretty good at computering. Yes. I'm gonna go ahead and trademark that here. That belongs to me. Nobody else can use that phrase. Computering. Hashtag computering.
Okay, so we have another question for you, and it's like, what specifically inspired you to work in Islamic Relief?
Carl.
No, because... No, Mordant, I want you to answer that one first because I am the Muslim in the room and I work at IRUSA because I believe in working together for a better world because there are people in this world that need help, and we, especially as Americans, we are so blessed that we have an abundance of things, and we need to make sure that those that don't have the abundance of things get what the basic essentials that they need, like the refugees and like the Rohingyans and like the Syrians and like those people. So it is way more interesting to me why you work here.
See, now, you misunderstand me, my friend, because that was my answer. Carl has inspired me to do this because we were at Media Expo for a podcast convention, and he approached, he saw what I did with my other podcast, Success Freaks, and he approached us about being sponsored by IRUSA. And part of that, we did a vetting process. I learned a lot that I did not know before about Islamic Relief USA, is about Islam and what it really is versus what we've seen in the media and things like that. I'm a big fan of diversity. I'm a big fan of interfaith, people working together, and as their motto says, working together for a better world. Although we can never seem to say it together. So that really inspired me to do this. There's something that I learned. I'm a big Harry Potter fan. J.K. Rowling began writing Harry Potter in 1990, and in 10 years she touched the world. And it's something I've always wanted to be able to make a difference, to be able to touch the world, to help others be awesome, which is the motto for Success Freaks. So actually, Carl brought me into this, and I just loved everything. And I'll tell you, who really put a stamp on it was Anwar. When we interviewed him for Success Freaks, and just the way he was, and when he was talking about what people could do to help IRUSA, he goes, you don't have to give us money. Give money to your church. Give money to your whatever organization. Just make sure that you help. And there was such an open, giving heart that I was like, yep, I think I found a home here. And that's what brought me in. And it's fun. It's fun.
It is fun.
So can we ask a difficult question?
No.
Yes, please.
Okay. So UNICEF and Islamic Relief and UNRWA and many other organizations are trying to help these refugees, are trying to make a better world. Do you think the idea of refugees or the idea of poverty in general could be completely eliminated? Dum, dum, dum.
I like her. I'll start. Yes, I do. I actually, given the technology and the resources that we have in this world, there's no need for poverty. There really isn't. I know that sounds weird, but here in America, we pay farmers not to grow food because we have a surplus. So why are we doing that? Why not let them grow? Let them grow all the food they want, and let's take it to where it's needed. Let's take it to those that are in need. Let's take it to those that haven't eaten in days. There's no need, given the level of technology. Wind farms, put up a windmill, and now a village has electricity. Given the level of technology and the level of resources that we have on this world, there is no reason for any of this to exist other than human nature getting in the way. People always wanting, this is mine, that's mine. I don't believe that you should believe that, so I'm going to use force to change your beliefs. None of that should exist. In my view, in the world, and my views are independent from IRUSA, please understand that, but in my view of the world, we only have one blue marble to travel through space on together. And we either need to figure out how to get along and how to make sure we share our resources with those that don't have resources, or I don't know what the end result will be. Because as of right now, it's not like, oh, I don't want to be here, I'm going to go live on Mars, or I'm going to go live on Jupiter. It's not an option. We need to figure it out. We need to share our resources, and we need to help those that are less fortunate than us. Because as I said before, we are blessed, and we do have an abundance of, literally in America, I don't know if you guys have seen this or if this is your first trip to the United States or what, but literally here in America, we have an abundance of things, just material things. We need to learn to get over that to help those that have nothing.
That's true.
Mordant.
My answer is slightly different. My views also are not represented by the IRUSA. So I think it's up to the individual. If you're waiting for your government to do something about poverty, then the answer is no. Poverty is not going to be taken care of. It is not your fault. It's not my fault, but it is our responsibility to do something. I studied under Montauk Chia, who teaches Universal Healing Tao. It's a Taoist form of energy work meditation. And I think it might have been the UN approached him and asked, would you please hold a meditation for the world? And he was like, no, I won't do that. And they asked him why, and he said, it's too big. You don't do that. You meditate for your community, and then your community will reach out and touch your city, and then your city will reach out and touch your province, and then your province will touch your nation, and the nation will touch the world. You do what you can in your neck of the woods. Now, if you have the ability to reach out internationally, then of course. But if you think about poverty in the world, it's too big to really think about it. We have a way of distancing ourselves from that. And if you can do something in your community and help that grow, if you can do something, whatever your bailiwick is, with the TechGirls, you can do something via tech. Oh my goodness, that app that you had spoken about helping the refugees. You can create something that, and in some way, that is helping poverty. So if you're going to wait for your government to do something, or if you're going to wait for somebody else that you can jump in on their bandwagon, that's good training, but it's not going to help poverty. Do something small, because many small things will have a big effect. A butterfly, it said a butterfly flapping its wings will cause a hurricane around the world. So be that butterfly. Do something. Right now we're talking about it. We're having a conversation about that. And our voices on this podcast are reaching hundreds, if not thousands of people. So this is in some small way doing something. And IRUSA does something in different communities. And those people who join in those communities are doing something about poverty. They're not waiting. So go out, reach out, do something, create some good in the world. Don't wait for somebody else. Don't wait for your government. Because what you need to do is inspire your government to do something. Don't wait for them to inspire you.
Amen.
Oh.
Boom, baby.
Oh, you scared her. She jumped when you did that.
Okay.
Good. Now go jump. Go do something.
So we have a very important question also.
I don't like these hard questions. They're making me think.
No, important, not hard.
Okay.
So Islamic Relief have the word, Islam. And obviously around the world there is Islamophobia. And while you're doing your projects, do you face some struggles from people who have Islamophobia?
So I'm going to tell everybody to go back and listen to episode 28. Where sure? No, I'm looking for those of you playing along at home. Chancey's actually in the room videotaping this, so I'm looking at her because I know she does a lot of our write-ups, and I'm just trying to remember.
What was the episode about? That way they can, we'll put a link in the show notes. But yes. If it's the wrong number, what was it about? So you can find
it. Was about Hanny and how he went down to Louisiana to help those that were affected by was it 100-year flood or something like that?
Right.
It was our DR.
Tell us about the episode.
So what happened was it was the worst flooding in Louisiana in, I think it was 100 years. And there were nobody there from grandmothers and grandparents and backwards could remember a time when there was this much flooding and water in the region. And there were certain sections of the state where our disaster response team, DRT, was asked to leave because the back of their jackets said Islamic Relief on it. And they were asked not to come back to those specific neighborhoods because they just didn't want their help. And even though we're, I guess, underwritten or we're partners with the American Red Cross, they still didn't want us there because we were Muslim. And for me, that level of bigotry and Islamophobia really just hurts my brain. I can't imagine how you would lose everything in life. You've lost your home, you've lost all your memories, you've lost all your property to water. And the Red Cross shows up and says, you know, here's X, Y, and Z, here's some money, here's some property, let's get you some clothes, let's help you get squared away. And they say no because you're Muslim.
Yeah, that was episode 27.
27, sorry.
Yeah, responding to the Louisiana disaster. And the thing to remember, that is an awful thing, but the thing to remember that Islamophobia, part of that word is phobia, and it's people are afraid because of other things happening in the world, and they don't know. They fear the unknown, and all they have to go on is this other voice, whether it's from the media or from the actions of few individuals. And part of what we're doing here with this podcast and Islamic Relief as a whole, not just USA, but around the world, what Islamic Relief is doing is it's lending another voice to that, to say, no, Islam is peace. Now, full disclosure, and if you've listened to this podcast, you know I'm not Muslim. I'm here because of the diversity that's in this organization, because of the good things that the organization has done, and because it has taught me what Islam is. It's taught me what Muslims are, or and how they are. You know, some of my most joyful moments recently was at the Grand Iftar, happening in the D.C. area with IRUSA, and my very first iftar that I went to, that Carl and his wife put on, and with everybody that I knew from the marketing office that was there. It was a wonderful moment for me. So I'm learning what Islam is, and so I'm having a different view. You know, I like to say I've learned too much. I can't go back now. I can't turn a blind eye. I can't be silent. I have to be part of this now, at this time, when it's needed now, and help people learn about Islam versus the phobia. I had a woman sitting next to me one time, and she was just making small talk, and this has nothing to do with IRUSA. I forget if I was doing a comedy thing or sitting at a dinner or whatever, and she just brought up, well, my son has become a Muslim, and she had that heaviness in her, and I was able to go, oh, really? That's awesome. And she was taken aback, and I was able to give her some peace and talk about it. No, it's okay that he did this because it actually means this. It does not mean, you know, the other voice that you've heard. So I was able to lend a different voice to that. So yes, sometimes there's pushback, and less often than you'd think from what I hear from the disaster relief teams. It doesn't happen that often, but you have to be able to face it with love and understanding that they're afraid, and they only have this other voice. And if you meet against them with animosity or anger or whatever it is, because rightfully you're annoyed with the situation that you're put in. If you bring that with your own anger, then it's just going to fuel their fire. They're going to go, oh, okay, I was right. But if you're able to go, okay, well, we can leave, and or here, we'll just leave what you need and we'll step away. There are people who are learning. It is lending a different voice. So you have to be able to in the face of fear and anger, share love and kindness. Yeah. And you're planting seeds, and eventually some of those seeds will take, not all, but some of them will. And that's what I think our job is, especially with this podcast. That's what this job is for this.
Yeah, of course. And I think people should know that it's not about the religion itself. I think there are good Muslims and bad Muslims, just like there are good Christians and bad Christians, or good Jews and bad Jews. It's not about the religion. I mean, it's about the person himself or herself. It's inside, not the religion, because all religions asked for peace and for love. And the case of Islamophobia, that's a bit stupid.
So, Mordant, for the second time in our podcast career, I know we've had a lot of people that have traveled, and we've tried to be courteous with their time when they're here. But for the second time in this podcast life, we actually have a timekeeper here who's signaling me off, saying that we have to wrap up. So let's do this. Final thoughts, ladies. You have a microphone in front of you. You are plugged into the world, and we are downloaded in places like Australia and Canada and the United States. China is showing up on the list recently. The mic is yours. What are your final thoughts?
I just want to first thank the Islamic Relief because they're amazing. I want to wish everyone a wonderful day and to be nice to one another and to just forget the biases, forget the media, and to think from your heart for a second. And yeah, thank you again.
I'm actually Christian myself, and I really admire this organization and what it provides to refugees and all the help that it gives to people who have nothing. So
I just wish Islamic Relief would continue to make amazing, wonderful projects that would change the world, and we would be part of it one day. Thank you. Okay. Inshallah.
So, with that, from the What a Relief podcast, we once again thank you for listening, sharing, and repeating. My name is Carl.
This is Mordant.
And with us are
Layan and Okkeh.
And Vera.
And until next time, we say, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Carl, and here with me...
or Mordant Mahon. One of those two is correct.
I have messed this up yet again.
Yeah, I didn't know where you were going with all of that as well.
What are we doing?
Let's do it badly, and then we can do it better.
Oh, excellent. That's the way I like to do